Hello, Shubhan Acharya. Again, here in this video, I'll do section 3.5, equivalent statements and the variation of conditional statement. Okay, we talk about the equivalent statements and the variation of conditional statements. Let me go over some definition that related to these topics, and let's talk about the equivalent statement. Okay, what are the equivalent statement? Equivalent statement. The two statements are equivalent if they have a same truth table. Okay, if they have same truth table, same truth table, they are equivalent, right? Otherwise they do not. For example, let me give you an example here. This P or Q is equivalent to not P right arrow Q. Notice that this statement here, P or Q, is equivalent to not P right arrow Q. This is the disjunction, this is the conditional, but they are equivalent. Why? Because let's find the truth table for each statement and see what happens. Okay, let's find truth table now. P, Q. Okay, and that's the two column, and now I have column for P or Q. Now this is the one we try to find the truth value, and this is another one. Notice that to find the truth value for this statement, not P is needed, therefore I need a column for not P, right? And finally I need a column for not P right arrow Q. Okay, therefore these are the column in the table. Basically we're looking for this and this and try to see if they have a same truth values, and if they are equivalent. So as we know, write T, T, F, F, T, F, T, F. Okay, there are four possibilities, right? Four possibilities. Now in the OR, every time it is true, only false, both are false. Therefore truth value of P or Q is going to be true, 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 false. Notice that this is the only case where or going to be false if both are false, correct? Now let's find the truth value of not P. Look at P here. P is true, true, false, false. Not P going to be what? False, false, true, true. Now I need to find not P right arrow Q. Notice that not P is before arrow, Q is after arrow. Therefore I'm looking for this two column here. I already highlighted with the green. Q column and not P column. Okay, look at this here. Q column, not P column, but I'm doing not P right arrow Q this way. I'm doing false right arrow true. What is that? False right arrow true is true. Okay, I'm doing false right arrow false, which is also true. I'm doing true right arrow true, which is going to be true. I'm doing true right arrow false, which is going to be false. But notice that only the false in the biconditional is true right arrow false is false. Okay, only that time biconditional is going to be false. But what you notice here is, look at this truth values TTFF, sorry, TTTF, TTTF. Remember that they have same truth value. So P or Q equivalent to not P right arrow Q. Therefore I want to say P or Q equivalent. That's the symbol for equivalent. Okay, equivalent to not P right arrow Q. That makes sense. Also I want to mention that this is also true. P or Q is equivalent to not Q right arrow P. Okay, the idea here is this: if you want to write equivalent statement for disjunction, what you got to do is just negate one of the statement. See, negate one of the statement, put that before the arrow, and write another statement without negating after arrow. Okay, do you know what I mean? Okay, again, see, P or Q equivalent to not P right arrow Q, or not Q right arrow P is the same thing. Okay, again, this is very important. You have to know some of the question in the homework and put in note card, put in the note, whatever you know you have, put in the note. And also I want to write another equivalent statement here. If you have P or Q and negation of that, this is equivalent to not P and not Q. Okay, what happens is if you distribute negation, this gonna be or gonna be and you negate each statement. Now another way around, not P and Q equivalent to not P or not Q. You see here, if you have and, you change that to the or when you negate each statement. This is another fact you supposed to note. Therefore this is called De Morgan law. Okay, De Morgan law. And another equivalent statement is this: if you have P right arrow Q, that's the conditional. If you switch the order and negate, like not Q right arrow not P, these two also are equivalent. One more time: P right arrow Q equivalent to not Q right arrow not P, and put that also in the notes. Okay, that's the notes about equivalent statement. And now next topics here is variation of conditional statement. That's the next topic. Variation of conditional statement. What do you mean by that? Okay, what's the topics? Variation of conditional statement. Let's put the conditional statement P right arrow Q. That's called conditional. Okay, if you switch the order, make Q right arrow P, this is called converse of this conditional statement. Okay, makes sense? Now if you switch the order and negate each one, like example, not Q right arrow not P, you know what we did here? We negate each statement and switch the order. That is called contrapositive. And it's something, you keep the order and negate, that is called inverse. Make sense? Therefore, again, that's the variation of conditional statement. All are conditional statement, but the variation. P right arrow Q, as usual, conditional. If you switch the order, Q right arrow P, that's called converse. If you switch the order and negate, that's called contrapositive. If you just negate without switching order, that's called inverse. And these are called variation of conditional statement. And this all homework is based on the discussion I just did in the notes. Okay, let's answer the question number 1. Use the truth table to determine whether the two statements are equivalent. Okay, what are the two statements? You see, this is the one statement. You got to have another statement, and I told you you have to make a truth table, and if truth table are the same, they are equivalent, otherwise they are not. As usual, there is a 4 possibility here. What is the possibility? T, T, F, F for P, T, F, T, F for Q. Now, to find this truth value, you write not P. You need the column for not P. I need the column for not Q. Okay. Now you need the column for not P, right arrow, not Q. Not P, right arrow, not Q. You need more, by the way. Therefore, I'm just extending the line. Okay. All right. Let's do this first. Not P. What's the not P? Truth value. P is T, T, F, F. Not P going to be F, F, T, T. Okay. Not Q. What's the not Q truth value? Q is T, F, T, F. Not Q will be F, T, F, T. Make sense? Finally, you guys need to find not P, right arrow, not Q. In other words, I use this two column and I do arrow by conditional. Notice that not P going to be before arrow, not Q going to be after arrow. That means false, right arrow, false, going to be true. False, right arrow, true, going to be true. True, right arrow, false, going to be false. True, right arrow, true, going to be true. Okay, this is the truth value for this first statement, correct? Now let's find the truth value of not Q, right arrow, P. Do you have a not Q? Here. Do you have a P? Here. Therefore, I'm finding not P, right arrow, sorry, not Q. Not Q, right arrow, P. Okay, that's this statement here. Not Q, right arrow, P. Therefore, to find this truth value, you look for not Q, this column. Let me highlight the column, and P column, which is this column, and you do arrow. But notice that not Q gonna be if part, like before arrow, and P gonna be after arrow. Therefore, you're looking for F arrow T. What is F arrow T? F arrow T is T, right? What is T arrow T, which is T? F arrow F, which is T. T arrow F, which is F. And this is the truth value for other statement. Are they same? T, T, F, T. T, 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 F. They are not the same. Therefore, they are not equivalent. That's the answer. Does it make sense? Now, for question number 2, I'm not going to do that, but I'm giving you a hint for you. Okay, find the truth value for this. Okay, find the truth. I should say table or value, the same thing. Table for P, right arrow, not Q, and not Q, right arrow, P. This is the first statement, and find the truth table for not Q, double arrow, P, the second one. Okay, and check if they are the same. If they are the same, they are equivalent. Okay, again, find the truth table for this, find the truth table for this. If they are the same, they are equivalent. If they are not the same, they are equivalent. For this question number 2, they are equivalent. You try yourself, pause the video, you do yourself, they are going to be equivalent. Same thing, do the question number 3. Okay, use the truth table to determine they are equivalent. Again, same idea here. Find the truth table for this one and find the truth table for this one. Okay, if the truth table gonna be the same, they are equivalent or they are not equivalent. Question number 4. Okay, question 4. Select the statement that is equivalent of the following. I use Pinterest or Facebook Messenger to update my friends. Okay, I use Pinterest. Look at here. This is the Pinterest or Facebook Messenger. This is the P. That's the Q. Therefore, this pretty much P or Q is that statement. Okay, if you write a symbolic form, this is the P. I use Pinterest, and Q is I use Facebook Messenger. Therefore, P or Q is this statement as a symbolic form. But for the equivalent, you guys see, notice here. Okay, what's the equivalent of this? This is going to be equivalent to what? Not P, right arrow Q, or not Q, right arrow P. Notice here, see, the same thing. P or Q equivalent to not P, right arrow Q, not Q, right arrow P. Therefore, the thing is, which one is correct? Let's see. If you read the option here, of course, this is the conditional. Therefore, start with the if. B is not the right answer here. Okay. Therefore, one of those A, C, D is the right answer. If you read correctly, if you read this one, it say if I did not use Pinterest, then I use Facebook Messenger. Okay, therefore looks like C is the right answer. Other one doesn't make sense here because this is the format C. I did not use Pinterest to update my friends. Then, there is no then, that's okay. After comma, I already have a then. I use the Facebook Messenger. Okay. Question number 5. Select the statement that is not equivalent. See, not equivalent to the following statement. Okay. What's the question? It is not true that. Okay. It is not true that Miles Davis and Pablo Picasso both painter. Notice that if you try to write the symbolic form, write down symbols for it is not true that is this tilde, and Miles Davis and Pablo Picasso were both painters. Therefore, P is the Miles Davis is a printer, and Pablo Picasso were the painter, right? That's the symbolic form of the statement. And if you remember that from this, we'll have it here. See, from this equivalency, this is equivalent to. Notice that this 3 line is equivalent to not P or not Q. Why? Because of this De Morgan law. Okay. Therefore, this is going to be what? Remember that the one of the option is not equivalent, but all are equivalent. Therefore, which one is this one? And of course, this part B. If you read that here, P is Miles Davis was painter. Therefore, not P is Miles Davis was not painter, or Pablo Picasso was not painter. Okay, this is also equivalent to. This is also equivalent to not P, right arrow not Q. Why? Because of this one. Watch here. If P or Q, if you have a or disjunction, that's equivalent to not P right arrow Q. That means if you negate that and keep that after arrow, that's the equivalent. If you keep not Q, negate not P, and that is same as what? It's same as not P is P, right arrow not Q, or this is same as Q right arrow not P. The same thing. Q right arrow not P. Therefore, how do you read that? Q is if Pablo Picasso was painter, then Miles Davis was not painter. Therefore, this is the answer. If you have a 3 right answer, obviously A is incorrect. That is not equivalent to the given statement. Okay, this is question number 5.
Question number 6. write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of the statement below. Okay, we already mentioned that uh, converse gonna be just reverse the statement. For example, P right arrow Q, converse gonna be Q right arrow P. For contrapositive, you reverse the statement and negate, right, each statement. And for inverse, you do not reverse the statement but just negate. That's the inverse. Therefore, let me go back to the question here. The question is this: if Charles Schulz wrote a sonata, that's the P, and then Snoopy danced a jig, that's the Q. Therefore, this statement is going to be P right arrow Q. That's the statement. Now, for converse, you just switch the order. Okay, P right arrow Q going to be Q right arrow P. That's the converse. Okay, see here. For the converse is going to be now if Snoopy danced a jig, then Charles Schulz wrote a sonata. That's going to be converse. Pretty simple. Just reverse the order of the statement. That's the converse. Now for inverse, what do you do for the inverse? You just keep the order but negate, okay, each statement. That's the inverse. Therefore, inverse, you keep the order but negate each statement. In other words, you read that way: if Charles did not write a sonata, then Snoopy did not dance a jig. Therefore, answer is B. You see, if Charles Schulz did not write a sonata, then Snoopy did not dance a jig. Okay. Now for contrapositive, you switch the order and negate at the same time. Therefore, the contrapositive is going to be you switch the order and negate. Therefore, the answer for contrapositive is here C. If Snoopy did not dance a jig, then Charles Schulz did not write a sonata. That's the answer for contrapositive. That's the question number 6. Question number 7 is similar. Write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of the statement below. You can do yourself. Question number 8. Write something. Write converse, inverse, and contrapositive of the statement. Okay, what's the statement? The statement is not R, right arrow P. That's the statement. Sorry, not R, right arrow Q. Not Q. Therefore, for converse, what are you going to do? For the converse, just switch the order. Okay, just switch the order. For the converse, switch the order. That's all. Therefore, what happens? Switch the order. Q gonna be first and not R gonna be next. That's the converse. Therefore, the answer is D. For the inverse, do not reverse the order. Just negate. Negate first statement. Negate second statement. Therefore, you're doing pretty much not R, right arrow, not Q, because you're negating not R, negating not Q. Sorry, negating Q. Therefore, this gives you not R going to be R, right arrow, not Q. That's going to be B. Okay. For contrapositive, you reverse the order and negate. Therefore, when you reverse the order, what's that going to be? When you reverse the order, this is going to be Q, right arrow, not R. That is reverse the order. Now negate. When you negate, it's going to be not Q, not R. Negate each statement after you reverse the order. It's going to be not Q, right arrow, R, because not R going to be R, and this is going to be A here. Okay, that's question number 8. Question number 9. Express the statement given below if-then form, then write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. Okay, here's the question. Being sweet is necessary condition of being desert. Therefore, because of necessary, this is the conditional statement. For you starts with the arrow. Therefore arrow is here as a connectives because of this conditional statement. It has necessary word, and after arrow always necessary part goes after arrow. Therefore here being sweet is necessary. Okay, therefore sweet goes in the back of the arrow and desert go in the front of the arrow. Okay, in other words, you read this way: if desert then sweet, that format. In other words, you have a multiple choice. You can select if something is desert then it is sweet. That's the answer. Okay, because always you read desert first. Therefore if something is desert then it is sweet. Okay, that's the then you have a converse, inverse and contrapositive of this statement. You know how to do that before. You can finish by yourself. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching the video.